Hello, animation students. Welcome once again to my online lessons in animation. And for this video, we're going to demonstrate how to use the alpha, or basically the alpha is the equivalent of opacity in Adobe Photoshop. So what we're going to do here is we're going to color the window of this abandoned car door using the bucket tool, but at the same time, we want our color to have some translucent quality, meaning to say it's semi-transparent. Okay, so by default, okay, before I begin, let me just remind you that what we have here is two layers. Of course, we have the car door, the layer for the car door, and the background. Okay, now since I'm gonna work with the car door, I have to padlock the background. Okay, why is that so? So that whenever I make a selection on the car door, the background is not going to be selected accidentally. Okay, so for example, okay, let me just hide my video. Let's say, for example, I selected this using the lasso tool right here. So what happens is when I select my drawing, which is the car door, the background is selected. Right now, it's padlock, which is very good. But when it is not padlock, the background is not padlock. And when I select it using the lasso tool, okay, using the lasso tool right here, what happens is the background gets selected as well. Okay, so always remember when you're working with your scenes, you have to lock the layers that you're not working with at the moment. Okay, so kung hindi mo tinatrabaho yung certain layers na yan, siguraduhin mo na nakapadlock yan. Okay, so sa pagkakataong ito, yung background natin ay uh, hindi natin tinatrabaho o wala tayong gagalawin sa kanya. Okay, so ilalak ko yung background na yan para hindi siya madamay sa mga selections natin. Okay, hindi kasi siya katulad sa Photoshop na pwedeng hindi ilak yung layer, no? So, ganun siya. Ito kasi pag nag-execute ka ng selection, nangyayari na dadamay yung mga layers na hindi dapat madamay. Kaya dapat nakalock sila. Okay? So, you will use the padlock of the layers in Adobe Flash extensively. Okay? So, and as you can see, when you make a selection also, fine dots appear inside the selection. So if you select a portion of this drawing, you can see some fine dots appearing on the portion that I selected. Okay, so now that's not the main lesson of this video. The main lesson of this video is how to execute the alpha. Okay, so I'm gonna select outside. Okay, I'm gonna select outside. Okay, so just to unselect the whole thing. And as you can see at the toolbars menu, you can see here the fill color. Okay. And by default, when you select that, you can see that the alpha value is 100. Okay. The alpha of the color, let's say, for example, is of white. It's always 100 by default. Okay. So let's say, for example, I want to color this window blue, but with transparency. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let's say, for example, I'm going to select that. The alpha is 100. Let's say, for example, I forgot to alter the alpha value and just went straight on with the blue color and selected the paint bucket tool. And when you select the paint bucket tool, make sure that the gap size is close large gaps. Okay, right here. Now, okay, upon selecting the bucket tool, I am going to click inside this enclosure. And what happens is that the color is in, it's not in alpha mode, meaning to say it's opaque. It's not transparent. Now, what I'm going to do here is I want to put some translucence. I want to make this window translucent, meaning to say semi-transparent. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is that I'm gonna select the selection tool and select this color right here. And then I'm gonna go back to the fill color and then reduce the value of the alpha by sliding it to the left. Let's say, for example, I want it 50. Okay, and as you can see, what happens with the fill color box is that the grids are appearing, meaning to say this is already in alpha mode below 100. Okay, the alpha mode is on, meaning to say the color is going to be translucent. Now, when you go to the door, it is still opaque. Okay, it is still opaque and it has a selection. But when you select outside the door, you can see that the color has now become transparent. Okay, so that's one way of coloring your window if you want to have it the quality of being translucent. Okay, now there's another way of coloring this. So let's go back to start. So I'm gonna select this and delete this. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to start by resetting this into 100. Okay, so that by default, when you open your Adobe Flash or Adobe Animate, the alpha value of uh, the fill is in 100. Actually, the stroke color has an alpha value as well, but we're not going to cover that in this video. Okay, so the fill color is in 100 by default. So what I'm gonna do next, okay, for example, I'm gonna color this. What I'm gonna do here is I can right away reduce the alpha value of my color. Something like that. Can reduce it and probably select any of the colors here. Let's say I want it, uh, let's say I want it gray. Okay. So as you can see, the gray is translucent. And now I'm going to go to the bucket tool and click on this one. And as you can see, it's already translucent. Okay. It's not transparent, it's translucent. When you say translucent, it's semi-transparent and semi-opaque. Opaque is a terminology meaning nothing can be seen beyond it. So you cannot see what's behind it. So this one is translucent. So that's how you execute the fill color with alpha. Okay. And the equivalent of alpha is opacity in Photoshop. Okay. So that's it for now. I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.